Hey guys, it's Spaces Sims, and we are back with more Winter's Wish, continuing Kinji's route. And we just had our discussion that we were going to go join the brothel, and they were like, we can't tell you anything. We can't teach you anything about anything. And I'm assuming, even though that sounds backwards and ridiculous, it's because, again, like, if they were like, we're going to teach you how to, like, you can, there's a way for you to avoid having to have sex. And she's like, how? And they're like, we can't tell you. Which seems ridiculous, but we're assuming it's because if she goes in knowing absolutely nothing and being herself right now, I came from the, and I don't know, it's like, okay, it'd be like if you were going to any job and you knew nothing about the job, they're going to train you before they throw you in the deep end, So, no, they can't train her to have sex, but they can train her how to, like, service the clients in other ways. That sounds inappropriate when we're thinking sexual things, but there's more to it than that. You know what I mean? They're going for the girlfriend experience. Like, oh, we're going to be polite, and oh, we're going to be, like, whatever. And you know what I mean? There's steps before that. So, like, they're going to teach you all about the hospitality angle and the maybe seduction angle kind of stuff before whatever, because they don't want their reputation to be like, oh, this girl's fumbling around and couldn't even figure out how to work a zipper. I don't think they have zippers, but you know what I mean. Like, So that's exactly what it is. And if we teach you how to be yourself, you're gonna be, then they're gonna think you know how to, and you know what I mean? And that's the whole point. The whole point is if you go in knowing nothing and being an awkward weirdo, they're gonna be like, oh, okay, we won't throw her, and we'll train her up, and she can do some other things around to help out before she becomes a full-fledged courtesan that has to sleep with people, and I'm assuming that's exactly what it is. And they're like, like, if you just act like yourself, everything will be fine. But if we teach you how to, like, subvert expectation and, like, oh, secretive and hide secret or whatever, then you're gonna, and be suave, you're not gonna need the training that you need right now, so. But it still seems kind of funny because she's like, what do you mean? Anyway. And so it was decided that I would infiltrate the brothel as a courtesan. And again, it makes really sense that we're doing this in Kinji's route, if you think about it, because she's gonna learn some shit. Not like, but she's gonna learn some maybe seduction tips and whatever, and we're gonna turn that around on him. Oh, I really hope we do, because, he likes to tease us and throw us for a loop, and I really hope she turns it around on him at least a couple times just to fuck with him a little. Especially when you're getting later on, when he's starting to crack, and it's just like, wait. I want to pull the rug out from underneath him and watch him fall, okay? Anyway. Yabuto would handle all the documents required for me to become a courtesan. All I needed to do was wait until that day arrived. When I heard that they would place a few public-facing members of the Oniwabon in the brothel as emergency contacts, I felt relieved from the bottom of my heart. In that event, we would contact each other through letters. Once that was decided, all I needed to do was live normally until everything was ready. I mean, they could have also, if they were like, oh, and if you get to the point where they think you're ready to have sex and we haven't figured out everything, we'll send Oniwabon in to buy you. You know what I mean? Like, this way, yeah, no, that's the girl I want. Like, this way, then you're just sitting there chilling with him and telling him secrets, and you know what I mean? You don't actually have to go through with it, because unless it's Kinji, then absolutely. Maybe if it's Yoichi and Kuga. I mean, this might be the best job for me. Only in my head. My brain is like, this is a great job for us if the Oniwabon members are coming in, because then it's like my man harem's coming in to visit me. I'm getting paid, and I'm having fun with my boyfriend. Wait. Whatevs. And then the rest of me is like, you know what? No. Anyway. Did I read that? Okay, I need to live normally until everything was ready. Okay. Then, right after the meeting ended... walk for a bit before I head back to my room. It hadn't quite sunk in yet that I was about to become a courtesan. I felt sort of on edge, and I didn't think I could sleep anytime soon. I mean, it's not like you're like, hell yeah, sounds fun. You're like, hmm. Suddenly I heard footsteps approaching from behind, and I turned around. It better be Kinji. I was like, we're in his route. It better be this man. Kinji. Standing behind me was Kinji. Kinji walked up next to me and let out a single breath. I was surprised. You said that it would be impossible for you in the beginning, did you not? I fully expected you to decline the job. So, what's with the sudden change of heart? You had faith in me, and I figure if I learned some tricks from the courtesans, I could flip them over on you and give you what for. Yeah, maybe teach you some things. I'm just saying. To be fair, right? Kinji teases us like, oh, we're such an innocent, naive little girl, like, oh, whatever. And it's like, yeah? How long have you might be the oldest vessel around, but I'm going to guess I've been on this planet longer than you have, aside from, like, whatever object you were crafted from could be a couple hundred years old. We don't fucking know. But I was born and gaining sentience as a living, breathing infant before you, as an object, were. Okay? Or possibly this. I don't really know how that works. But anyway, point being, doesn't matter. Still, you ain't got any sexual experience either, so don't laugh at me for being a virgin over here. Like, first of all, that was expected of lady folk of the time, I'm sure. And second of all, you just you have no heart and emotion, so you're not interested in that shit. So let's not make fun of me for this shit, okay? So like, we on the same page here. We are both very confused about what is happening when that's gonna happen. You know what I mean? But it is funny that they act like typical men in Otome games. You know, it's like, oh, you're so naive and you don't know anything. And it's like, you don't either. Like, I mean, technically she doesn't know anything about the world in general because she's been a shut-in living in the mountains because that's just the way her town treated her. It's not her own fault. You know what I mean? And for being a little bit of a shut-in, she's still a hell of a lot smarter than some main characters we've come across who have, you know, existed in the world and have not been forced to live on a snowy mountain all by themselves in a shack. Okay? Let's be real. But, like, it's just funny that the men in the games are always like, oh, you don't know anything. Oh, you're so naive. Oh, you're just an innocent little girl. That's kind of how they treat you. And we're like, oh, I'm so innocent and virginal, and you looked at me and I'm going to giggle and die. But in this case, it's like, yeah, because, you know, we're supposed to assume that they're man whores and sleeping around or whatever, for the most part. But, like, these guys, they don't know jack shit about this kind of stuff. We know more. And she's just guessing. She's going to learn more working at the brothel. Because those girls are going to tell her shit. Even if she doesn't experience, we're going to hear stories. Those courtesans are going to they're going to be like, okay, so here's the deal. And they're going to be like, oh, honey, okay. Let me take you. Because they're not going to throw you to the wolves like that. They're going to take you under their wings. And be like, we're going to train you up and we're going to tell you what to expect. And let me tell you. And they're going to tell you all the horror stories and all the weird ins and outs. And you're going to know more than he does when the time comes. And that's going to be fun as shit. I am here for this. We are so going to be we're literally going to top him. And that's kind of amazing. And I love it. Because he gives us so much sass and attitude. Oh, I can't wait to give it back. I love Kinji way too much. It's unhealthy, I think. But anyway. It was because you believed in me and recommended me for the mission. And I like how she's very upfront about it. She's like, no reason. She's like, because you had faith in me. And you recommended me and I love you. I adore you. Look at me more. You know? Girl's got some stones. But if I may be honest, I can't shake off the anxiety of whether I can handle this job. There's also a part of me that wants to run away. Valid. However, I'm also a member of the Oniwaban. As an Oniwaban, I want to work hard and meet everyone's expectations, but mostly yours, Kinji. By saying it out loud, I felt my worries fade a little. Yet Kinji made a perplexed face, as if he was wondering what I was talking about. Really, actually looks like he's over her shit right now. That perplexed face is the like, oh, dear God, are you done? It seems that you're misunderstanding something. I don't expect anything of you. Huh? His straightforward dismissal had taken me by surprise. So you're trying to hurt me? But all of this, I'm just putting it there like that's one more reason I'm gonna make you pay later. Don't worry. You're gonna get it. Oh, you're gonna get it good. In every way, shape, and form of that phrase. That's what I'm saying. Not just in the kinky way, but in other ways. You will get your comeuppance, sir. He didn't expect anything from me? But then why did he say it like that? Kinji continued to talk without a care. The only thing I want from you is precise work. I do not hold anything as vague and ambiguous as expectations. During the Nekomata Boy case, you were able to figure out that the Nekomata Boy's crimes were triggering the Blightful appearances. Though there were some troubles when we infiltrated the city commissioner, you were able to pull it off without slowing us down. I've seen your work up to this point, and I judged that you were capable of doing this job. That was why I recommended you. Do not mistake me. This is not something that I leave up to such emotions as faith or expectation. You know? It's interesting. I never really thought of expectations as being emotional things, but it makes sense. Huh. Because your expectations are based on emotion, if you think about it. Or like if you have an expectation, even if it's a logical expectation, when your expectations are met, you're generally like, "Oh, okay," and you're happy about it. They're an emotional tie to expectations. Even if, again, your expectations, I am basing my expectations on logic and fact. The outcome always ties back to your emotions, because then if it doesn't go to what you expected, you're going to be disappointed. And being sad and upset and disappointed is an emotional state. This is really interesting. I mean, he could still have expectations because I am basing all of your work and everything on fact, so my expectation of your work level is here, and so there you go. But yeah, I guess most of the time we set expectations based on our feelings for things. Huh. Weird. That's going to be trippy for days. I'm going to be like, wow. It's just something, those are things that you don't think about. And then when you take a step back, you're like, huh, interesting way to consider that. Yes. He said that he didn't expect anything from me, but that still means that he acknowledges my ability to work, right? He just said that, so yes. Thinking of it that way, Kinji's words felt extremely reassuring now. Strangely, even my feelings felt lighter. Kinji, I'll do my best. Were you listening to what I said? It's not as if I expect anything from you. Do you understand that? Yeah, I know perfectly well. All right then. If you're going to do the mission, make sure you do it right. But see, that's an expectation. But not really. Make sure you do your job right. You're maybe not expecting or hoping I do my job right. You're just... But you are. See, it's very confusing. All right, anyway. I nodded firmly at Kinji's words. Kinji said all of that to me. Now I have to make sure I'm helpful. But even so, Kinji was kind of nice today with how he tried to cheer me up when I was feeling anxious. Normally, I wouldn't bat an eye if Kinji told me that I was pathetic for being nervous over something like this. Is he being considerate because he recommended me? I placed a hand in my chin and thought about it. Spacey. Yes? What? Kinji called my name, and as soon as my head shot up to look, oh, he's like right in my face, this beautiful bastard. Ow! He pinched my cheek and a yelp escaped my mouth. Well, still a beautiful bastard. Kinji, what was that for? I rubbed at the place that was squeezed and looked at Kinji with tears in my eyes. A foolish expression suits you better, I think. I'd seen Kinji's smiling expression many times before, but for some reason my heart was beating faster. That's because the man is gorgeous and he doesn't smile often. Why? With him smiling at me like that, I didn't even feel like getting angry at my face being called foolish. It's just so funny because you have a serious expression. He's like, a foolish expression suits you better, and you're like, then serious? That's gonna change. That's gonna change when I'm looking at you seriously with my serious, sexy face. At least I hope you don't hate that one, because that would just really put a damper on the mood, you know? Your sexy face is ridiculous. Well, then that would work, right? Because he thinks a foolish face suits me better, and he'd be like, that face looks dumb as fuck, but I'm into it. So, like, I guess. So unfair. The pain in my cheek was replaced with a seemingly endless fluttering within my chest. I'm sorry, but if you're sitting here and you want me to pet you, I'm going to get out this giant pin feather. So what do you want? You want petties? Because I'm picking out that pin feather. I know. Well, don't scream at me then. I'm trying to help you. I'm trying to help you because nobody can get the pin feathers on the back of your neck because you have bird friends. Because you're a bird murderer. You kill them all. I'm so mean to you. You didn't kill your birdie friends. No, you didn't. Baby bird was very old. She wasn't that old, but she was old. So she was old. Okay, so it's okay. And Tiny Bird was sick. It's not your fault. You didn't kill them. You're not a bird murderer. No, you're not. No, you're not. You're precious and adorable and perfect. Except for when you bite me and you're screaming at me. I'm going to grab you so hard right now. I'm going to grab you and I'm going to get that pin feather up whether you like it or not. I'm not going to. Later I will, but I'm not going to do it right now because we're recording. But if you want me to pet you and then I'm trying to pet you and I'm barely touching him and then he shrieks and bites. And it's like, I'm not even trying to get the pin feather. I'm literally just petting him. I'm like literally just, I touch your head and then you're like, bite. And then you're like, pet me. And then bite. And it's like, you got mood swing problems. Is it because today's cloudy out? You got brain issues today? You got stuffy head? I know, I wasn't feeling so great earlier either. You are really grouchy and bitchy today. You're a bitchy bird. You're a bitchy boy. You're a bitchy boy. I gotta put you to bed. I gotta shove you in your cage and put you to bed. And then he's like shoving his hand, like literally like pet me, and then he shrieks and bite. You know what? I'm not touching you. My hands are going nowhere near you. You being mean. I don't like your attitude right now. And then he's just sitting there all puffed up like, fine, whatever. Oh, stop it. Anyway. The pain in my cheek was replaced with the seemingly endless fluttering within my chest and the throbbing in my fingers from the bird biting me. I'm gonna go stare at the pretty boy on screen, okay, because he's nice to me. He's mean to me. He pinched my cheek, but still, he doesn't bite me. Don't you bite my headset! Stop that! On the day preparations were completed, in order to have an interview with the brothel owner, I was taken to a room called the Naisho? Something like that. An office where the owner of a brothel and his wife can spend time together. What? Okay, I'm sorry. I was like, the office where the owner of a brothel. Okay, so your office, but he and his wife can spend time together. That brings up so many questions. Is it an office or is it your like sex room for you and your what? Like, because like, do you not? I mean, I'm assuming unless you've got workers that like live here, somebody's got to be here to maintain the place. It's not like you're running like a McDonald's or something or whatever, where you're like, I go home at night when everybody else goes home. The courtesans live here. So, like, there's always people here. So, like, even when the doors are shut and there's no customers, there's still people here. And technically, the courtesans are, like, indentured servants. So, like, you know, they're not allowed to leave and shit. So, they're kind of like property. You know what I'm saying? In a weird kind of way. Because they're paying off debts and shit. So, like, you'd think you'd want to be here. But, like, so if you own the place, do you, like, live here? So is this, like, your wife? Like, I'm just very confused how it's an office where you can spend time with your wife. Why that's very specific distinction? You know what I mean? I'm assuming, like, oh, it's an office. It's your office where you do, like, okay, that's where you, the back office. It's the manager's office. You know what I mean? But it's specifically an office where you can spend time with your wife. Do you not have a home? Do you not have, like, technically, like, or rooms, like, that would be considered your house or whatever above the place, like a little apartment area? You know what I mean? Like, what? Anyway, it's just weird. Just odd phrasing. It's just very oddly specific. But anyway. The brothel owner's sharp gaze fell across my entire body. It was uncomfortable, and I wanted to fidget, but I was in the middle of an interview. You're lucky it doesn't make you get naked. Ooh, that'd be so creepy. They may not hire me as a courtesan for even the smallest mistake. Keep it together. Bear with it. The thing is like, he's gonna judge and be like, are you worth it? Like, even if you're awkward and you don't know what to do, okay, fine, you can do other stuff, but can I make money off selling your body, even if it takes you a month to, like, be at that stage? So he eyeballing you, yeah, sure. I gave the best smile I could muster and looked at the brothel owner. I mean, I would bring in no money, so I don't have to worry about it, which is awesome, I guess. You don't have a wooden tablet, so you're human. Tell me your past experiences. It seemed that his assessing gaze earlier was to check for a tablet, then. I worked as a poster girl for a tea house in Ito's Castletown, but my father racked up debt at the gambling house, so I came here to pay it back. I explained the details to the brothel owner, just as Yabuta instructed me beforehand. Also, I don't have any experience in sex. What? In an instant, the brothel owner's demeanor changed. Did I say something I shouldn't have? But Yabuta told me to say this. How old are you? I'm 19. And you really have no experience? At that age? Okay, so I guess in this time and this day and age, it wasn't like, whoa, girls, legs closed until you're married. It was like, no, just do whatever, whoever, fine, nobody cares. I'm just saying that's interesting. But then again, you know, not every place is the puritanical bullshit that you grow up with in the U.S. where it's like, and you like, or, you know, what, we got some of that from Europe, so like, not, you know what I mean? But like, it's just, culturally, that's what you've been told throughout history is like, oh my god, you're a you touched a man's hand, you were alone in a room with a man, oh, you're a whore. And it's like, the room is 82 feet long. He was on one end, I was on the other, and I just walked in the door, and you came in 4 seconds after me. There was no physical way, but I'm a whore because I was alone in a room with a man, then there was no physical way. I couldn't even make eye contact, he's so far away. But seriously? You know what I mean? And then you got over here where they're like, so you fuck or what? And she's like, no. What, at 19? Damn, girl, what the fuck, frigid bitch? Like, what the shit? It's kind of another mark in the, you can't win as a woman no matter what the fuck you do. If she was like, oh, I started having sex at 16, they'd call her a whore, and now at 19, they're like, what is wrong with you, you prude? I just think it's so funny. He's like, really? You haven't had sex yet? At 19? Like, it's totally it's fine, okay? There are limits where, like, when you start sexual activity at a certain age, it's too young. There is definitely a too young. But you're never too old. Doesn't matter. Like, you could be 30 and not, it's totally fine. Like, it's not the end-all be-all of the world, but I mean, we are going to work at a brothel, so I understand him being like, really? You know, like, you're coming to work at a brothel, you know that's required, right? Be like going to work at a brothel and being like, yeah, so I'll do anything except for sex. It's the whole point of working here, you know? Like, I'm gonna go work at a tea house, but I hate tea and I refuse to sell tea, and I'm gonna try to get people on coffee. Really not the place for you, you know? Yes. I'd heard from the referrer that you worked in a tea house, but I never expected a virgin to come and apply. The brothel owner placed a hand on his forehead and heaved a deep sigh. So it's rare for people like me to come to a place like this. Oh well, so what are your talents? Well, not sexual ones, obviously. He took another breath as if to try to collect himself and asked me the question. I can identify edible wild plants. Look, I like her. She's pretty smart and sassy, but this is probably the stupidest fucking thing she's ever said. I mean, it's cute, but you're like, girl, that ain't helping you here. That is not gonna help you. That is not. That is. I wish this man had his brain, because you know he's just staring at her like, the fuck am I supposed to do with that? Huh. When I answered with full confidence, he made an incredibly iffy expression at me. Yet where are you going to find wild plants in the middle of the fucking brothel, let alone fucking entertainment district? If you're a virgin, I assume you've never had syphilis? Huh? Thinking that I would have been asked that, I felt surprised on the inside. Syphilis was a disease that was feared in Edo, especially in the red light district. I heard from Yabuta that most of the people working in the store are foreign folk. That wasn't limited to just this place. The other brothels also prioritized hiring foreign folk who can't get sick. But I'm a human. Humans can get sick, so they probably don't want to hire humans who might have had syphilis before. Yeah, 'cause that shit don't mess around. That's not good. Nobody wants that. Never! I can count on one hand the amount of times I've gotten sick, and I'm completely healthy. I leaned forward as I emphasized my point. I thought that this would definitely get me hired, but the brothel keeper simply let out a bigger sigh. You don't have any entertainment skills, and you haven't been deflowered. You've never had syphilis, so you could be out of commission at some point. We're like, nope, never been sick, don't have any STDs, and he's like, well, that's a bummer. I'm sorry. There's something so funny but so horrible. I can only laugh because it's horrifying. Like, I get his thoughts like, well, you don't get, it'd be like, have you ever had the chicken pox? Okay, well, that's bad because, like, chicken pox is going to put you out of commission. So, like, it's better to have had it younger, gotten it over with, whatever, you know. Sure, but, like, well, you've never had syphilis isn't that just doesn't just go away. That's fucking, isn't syphilis the one that eats away at your brain cells? Like, that's seriously fucking bad. Don't you have that fucking, that's not like, just, like, oh, well, just take a couple pills and you're done. That's like fucking forever. You know what I mean? It's like, herpes is forever. It's in your system forever. It never goes away. You always have it. Kind of like, it's actually mono, technically. Are they all part of the same virus system? Like, because, like, I know mono is very similar to, like, the herpes virus, or it is a version of it, or, like, they are the same, different strains of the same base virus, or something like that. That's where, I swear I heard that. I don't know. I could be totally wrong. But, like, mono, like, you get that, like, whatever. You never get rid of it. Once you've gotten mono, you're never going to get sick again, but you can pass it on 10 years later because you always have it in your system. Again, that's what I remember from like fucking 20 years ago. Maybe that's not true. Maybe it wasn't true then, but like, you know, but it's one of those things is like, but like, you would think that getting syphilis would be a bad thing. I'm gonna guess that medical knowledge just wasn't up to par at the point where he's like, well, if you had syphilis, you'd already been sick, but now you could potentially get syphilis and then get sick and then you'll be out of commission. But you would think most people don't want to come and fuck someone who has syphilis. Do they not know that that's like that's not like a cold where like, oh, I got a cold and I'm out of commission for a couple days? You know what I mean? That ain't just like a, you know? It's concerning. It's very concerning. And it's just very concerning that he's like, well, God, and you're just going to get syphilis. Maybe I don't want to do this. I mean, I know that we're not going to have sex and like, you know, whatever, but it's still like, everything about this is just making my skin crawl. Like, no, God, no, oh my God. Oh, I guess being a form folk has benefits. You don't know, like, you're treated like a lesser form of life, but you can never get sick, so you don't have to worry about being treated like a lesser form of life and also getting syphilis. Where, we do, because we're a woman, too. We're automatically just like, well, you're a woman. And then we're going to get syphilis. Great. Awesome. That sounds swell. And actually, people here tend to treat the form folk slightly better than you expect, even if they're, well, it could be worse, basically, the way this game's set up. They couldn't be treating them more. I mean, they were in some other routes. We've seen that. It was like, but I feel like they would have been doing that with anybody. It was like, you know what I mean? So, yeah, I don't know. And you've never been deflowered. Yeah, but you could get a high price. Somebody might be interested in that. I'm just saying, don't people sell their, like, virginities on eBay and shit? Wasn't there someone who did that shit? I'm pretty sure that's wrong, but you know what I mean? Like, there's got to be a market for that. You're like, hey, big bucks to deflower the virgin. I'm just saying, is that not the thing in this time period or in this culture? Because, like, white men are totally into that shit. Again, it's got to be, like, the cultural thing. Like, what? You're not a like, I mean, just props. Props for this time period for men being like, oh, man, she's a virgin? I don't know about that. Like, high five for you. Like, as opposed to, like, wait, she's had sex with one man. Oh, well, she's, like, ruined forever. Or thinking that because you've had sex with other men, their DNA is now a part of you because women are some other kind of form of life who absorb people's DNA. I don't know how people come to these conclusions, but I think we keep getting dumber as a species. It's about time for a meteor to hit us all, I think. Mass extinction. I don't know. I don't know how we're the most intelligent life form on this planet. It's kind of sad. But anyway, this man just being, like, upset that we don't have syphilis is weird. Here I thought, this girl looks pretty enough to sell right away. But you're a real piece of work, little lady. Imagine being insulted for, like, first of all, you've never had sex and you don't have syphilis. God, what is wrong with you? Okay. You won't hire me? I nervously asked the question and the brothel owner shook his head. Well, you're as beautiful as I heard. Be a waste not to hire you. All right, you're older than most, but we'll hire you as a camero. A camero, a position in which a girl attends to high-ranking courtesans in addition to completing other odd jobs, all while learning the ropes in order to become a future courtesan herself. Essentially, a young girl. See, that's what I said, but I wasn't like But this is just horrible. But you know what? Also good for them. Seriously. Because your family's in debt, so they sell their young children, basically, into sex slavery, essentially. Oh, because, like, okay, we are making, in theory, we're pretending, that we're making the decision, oh, my father's got a lot of debt, so I'm going to work as a courtesan to help him pay off his debts. Sometimes you think it's probably more a guilt thing and your family expects you to do this, but whatever. But if you got into a lot of debt and you made the choice to become a courtesan or a sex worker or whatever to pay off your debts, that's your choice, okay? Your family pushing you to do it is a little fucked up, or doing it when you're a very young child, like a young girl. Now, maybe they mean girls who are like 15 or 16. That's still wildly inappropriate. However, I'll give them points that they're like, okay, you can just learn the ropes on how to be a courtesan when you're of legal age, and for right now, you'll just help out the courtesans, go fetch them things and whatever, and basically be like a gopher for the courtesans. They'll teach you the ropes, and then as soon as it's not creepy and weird, now we can sell your body. I mean, props props for that, because, that ain't how it works in, like, sex trade in a lot of places. But this is, like, a legitimate business, so, which is just different. But still, you know what I mean? There's laws because there are laws on the books to, like, not have sex with young people under a certain age, just because people will do it if there aren't laws, because people are gross. And at least here they're like, I mean, that'd be fucked up, but we'll train you how to do the job. And then when you're legal, then you go do it. And maybe it's because there's laws, but, like, they ain't trying to skirt around them, at least. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. It's not like this was the lawless fucking Wild West or some shit, you know what I mean? But still, there's you look back at history and you're like, 50 years ago wasn't that long ago when shit was whack. Okay? Well, maybe not that bad, but, like, you know? So, I don't know, props to them for not being creepy and completely gross, is all I'm saying. While having a fuck ton of brothels. A lot. There's an awful lot of brothels in this city. I guess it's a big city, though, to be fair, so. Thank you very much. See, this is what Yabuta was talking about. Like, if we just don't pretend that you've just go in like yourself. Here you go. My infiltration was successful for the time being. All I needed to do now was learn an art as a courtesan and progress with my investigation. What is a camero anyway? Is it like a courtesan's apprentice? Basically. Excuse me, a camero would be... Oh, yeah, a camero learns about the red light district and a brothel's customers while running errands or taking care of the Taiyu and high-ranking courtesans. What about interacting with the guests? I asked the thing I was most worried about, and the brothel owner raised a hand in front of his face and shook it from left to right. Of course not! There's no way we'd let an apprentice take on customers. For now, just focus on learning the proper etiquette here. I understand. See, that's what, like, I was thinking. They're going to teach you, like, not really the ropes, because they're, like, part of the ropes is sex. But they're going to teach you how to treat the customers and how to be proper and all that stuff. And the etiquette was the word I was looking for that didn't with brains. But anyway. Phew! If he told me I'd be taking customers immediately today, I might have blacked out. I might have blanked out. Yeah, well. So this is what Yabuta meant when he said that he couldn't tell me. Yep. And see, she figured it out, because she ain't stupid. Although saying me, I'm really good at figuring out wild plants. That was a little stupid. But humor is stupid. If I had even a little bit of knowledge about the red light district, this development might not have been in the cards. With my goal accomplished for the time being, I breathed a sigh of relief. Plus, if you went in specifically and was like, no, I'm not really suited, but I could totally be a courtesan's apprentice. You know what I mean? He'd be like, what? You know what I mean? It would sound sus as fuck. But if you go in knowing absolutely nothing, with no skills, and being like, and looking kind of like a derpy little blank slate, then they put you in that position. So, yeah, exactly. Bravo. Love it. After a while, I can't wait to hear I hope some of the courtesans tell us some shit. I really do. I want to hear some of their secrets. And I know she's going to find it awkward, but I know we need this knowledge so we can turn it on Kinji when we throw ourselves on him. I don't know who's saying excuse me, but someone's saying excuse me. Ah, Okuni, thanks for coming. The brothel owner broke into a smile and welcomed the person who entered. I wonder who that is. Oh, look, she's lovely. Oh, look, she's all done up. Ooh, fancy. I turned around to look behind me, and my eyes widened. Wow, what a beautiful person. The bridge of her nose was well defined, and her lips were small. Her skin was translucently white, and her hair was glossy. The person's beauty rivaled that of Kinji's, and I let out a sigh in awe. I think she's almost as beautiful as Kinji. Almost. Okuni, this is Spacey. She's our new Kamuro. I want you to teach her well. Yes, I understand. Okuni gave a small nod. Even her subtle movement was refined, and my eyes became fixed on Okuni. She really is a beautiful person. There's a testimonial tablet on her neck. That means Okuni is a form folk. I wonder if she has any bruises. She was wearing a magnificent kimono, so I couldn't see inside her sleeves. If only there was a way to look. It would look strange to crouch down, and it would be even stranger to ask her to roll back her sleeve. I might be able to take a peek when I say my greetings to her. Hello, my name is Spacey. I look forward to working with you. I bowed my head to Okuni, and the moment I raised it again, I glanced at the opening of the sleeve. Okuni doesn't have the bruises, so that means she hasn't been infected. I'm Okuni. Nice to meet you as well. She smiled at me so gently, my heart skipped a beat. I love the fact that we're getting a little bisexual panic right now. She's almost as beautiful as Kinji, but then she spoke to me and I'm almost gonna die. And I'm not sure what end is up anymore. You know what? I did not expect this in this route, but this is hilarious. Okuni is our top Oran here. No, not only is she... Wait. Oiran? Okay, anyway. Not only is she a skilled courtesan herself, she's also trained plenty of Kamuro and Shinzo into proper courtesans. Shinzo? A newer in training courtesan, so that's what we're going to branch into. Those are the steps. I get it. She just happened to be free, so you're in luck. I'm sure Okuni will train you into a proper courtesan. Okuni, I'll leave the rest to you. The brothel owner shooed us away with his hand as if to say our conversation was done. Spacey, let's go. Yes. I bowed my head to the brothel owner and left the Naisho with Okuni. Naisho. Yeah, Naisho. That's what it is. Ugh. I saw it on my way here too, but the ceiling of the hallway was covered in pitch black threads. I'll be living here from now on, so I'll just have to get used to it. If anyone ever saw me looking uncomfortable and I accidentally said that I could see black threads, they'd probably think I was a creep. Wait, they might already think that. I remember the face the brothel owner made during the interview. Hey, can I ask you something? Then Okuni stopped walking and looked at me with a perplexed face. Do you see these fucking black threads too, or am I just crazy? No, I'm just kidding. The boss said you're a Kamuro, but no matter how I look at you, you look about as old as a Shinzo. Are you sure it's not a mistake? Is that so? What is a Shinzo anyway? Upon seeing me tilt my head, Okuni patiently explained it to me. A Shinzo is an apprentice or novice courtesan. Since he wants me to train you, I assume he wants me to treat you like a Furusode Shinzo? Well, there's a lot of Japanese terms coming left and right at me here. But a Kamuro? How old are you? From the looks of it, you look around 18 at least, so it would really make more sense if you were a Shinzo. I'm 19, and I don't have any, experience. I wasn't asked if I had experience or not, but Okuni was to be my teacher. It'd be better to report things like that. Plus, I mean, that's what they're assuming. Like, that's why he said that, because if she had been like, oh, yeah, no, I've had sex before, they'd be like, oh, okay, you could be a Shinzo, right? But, like, since she's had none, they're like, all right, we got to start you at the bottom. You don't have any experience, yet you came here. She's like, girl, what are you doing? She has crazy eyes right now. She's like, I'm sorry. You know what? I assume you have your own reasons, so I won't blame you. Do you know any arts? I don't mind if you've only messed around with Koto or Shamisen a little. With the Koto or Shamisen a little. I can't do anything. The only skill I can think of is identifying which wild plants are edible. Wild plants? This poor woman. Okuni also made a strange expression. So that's why the boss seemed off. This really is quite a difficult task. Could someone like me ever become a proper courtesan? It would be sad if I had to report that I got chased out of a job for my sheer lack of talents as a courtesan, just when I finally found a way in. You needn't worry. Now that I'm your teacher, I'll turn you into the best courtesan in this brothel. Second to me, of course. I would assume, you know. Amazing. So reliable. I love the fact that she's like, do you think I could be a proper courtesan? And Okuni's like, I'll turn you into the best one in this brothel. And we're like, nice. Wait. Okuni appeared to be the elder sister type, reassuring me when I didn't even know left from right. Good, I'm glad she's nice and not. Well, I mean, okay, it's her job to be like nice and train me properly and not like sabotage me. You know what I mean? But besides, the boss must have seen at least some of your potential for him to make you into a Kamuro. Now then, in that case, I should explain things to you in more detail. To start with, let's talk about our lifestyle. We usually wake up around this time, 4 at noon. Then we wash up at the bathhouse and eat breakfast. We then prepare for the daytime open house. You'll be my Kamuro, so that means taking care of my errands as well as cleaning the rooms. When it's 9 at noon, 9 at noon, 9 at noon and 4 at noon. I'm very confused to the at noons. It's time for the daytime open house. The courtesans go on display, call out to guests, and if they get one, we can take them to the rooms. See, like, because it sounds like 4 at noon, you think like, oh, it's like 4 past or something, but that doesn't give you very much time to get ready, clean, and get bathed and eat breakfast. If it, like, you know what I mean? So, like, but then they talk about like a bell hour later, and a bell hour is not really an hour. It's something different. It's like the time in this is so confusing, and I don't know what's happening anymore, but it's fine, whatever. She knows, that's all that matters. That would be the thing that trips me up the most. If I got fucking isekai'd into a game like this, and I'd be like, it's not, first of all, I assume that being in her brain, I would know what Japanese is, but I'd be like, I'm just more confused as to what the fuck you're talking about time-wise. What the fuck is 4 at noon? You know what I mean? Is that like how many bells happen around that time? Because like, I get it, they work nights, so they sleep most of the day. So they wake up later in the day, and then like, you know what I mean? So, but whatever. During that time, the Kamuro receives an education in an arts class from a chaperone hired by the brothel. Chaperone, a woman responsible for providing the Kamuros with basic education, as well as disciplining any courtesans plotting to escape, feared by the courtesans. So while Okuni's working, I'll be learning about arts and studying with the chaperone. 7 at night is free time. We eat our lunch here and will occasionally go to the escort tea house when called upon by guests. 7 at night helps me. Then we have our nighttime open house from 6 at sunset. This is the real start for the red light district. Guests are entertained until the bell hour of the rat. You gotta wait for the thing to pop out. Hour of the rat is the 2 hours from 11 p.m. until 1 a.m. in modern time. But it's not the bell hour. But you see the bell hour of the rat, but it's 2 hours of time. It seems like a lot of work to entertain guests for that long. You'll be studying around this time, but if you're called upon by a courtesan, prioritize that. Once we finish entertaining guests, we eat dinner and sleep. When it's morning, we see the guests off to the main entrance and go back to sleep once we return to the brothel. That's a day in the life of a courtesan. It seems like a lot of work. That was my honest opinion. They woke up and slept at odd hours, and then there wasn't much time to sleep to begin with. Though they were in such arduous working conditions, the courtesans in the displays didn't show a single sign of fatigue as they invited in the men. Luckily, I don't have to handle any guests. I'm really lucky that all I have to do is focus on my studies. I looked straight into Okuni's eyes and made a clear declaration. Still, I'll do my best. And again, I look forward to learning from you. You have quite the mettle. Okuni smiled gently. This feels like a good start. I'll have to keep at it so she'll acknowledge me as part of the group. It's around time for breakfast. Have you eaten already? I ate before I came here. Then teaching you table manners will have to wait until next time. I'll have you do some work immediately. Miss Spacey, while I'm eating breakfast, I want you to clean up my room. I understand. I'm really good at cleaning. She should have said that. She's good at cleaning. We learned that in Kugasra, right? Oh, right. It's my first task. I am not good at cleaning. I would suck at this. This is Okuni's room. I went up the stairs and was taken to Okuni's room on the second floor. The first floor had the brothel owner and servants' rooms, as well as the baths and kitchen. On the way upstairs, I was told that our rooms were on the second floor. Where should I clean? Just some simple sweeping and dusting is fine. Oh, there are some documents inside that lacquer box, so don't touch those. Yeah. When I come back, I'll teach you about the arts. After saying that, Okuni left the room. She has her daytime open house after, yet she prioritized my education. Okuni was working in a brothel, so she would have debt too. And yet she prioritized me. My feelings of guilt mingled with the happiness of being treated so kindly. If someone like Okuni's in charge of my education, then I might be able to get by, even in a brothel. Like the brothel owner said, I must have good luck. Now then, where should I start cleaning from? Alone, I looked around the room quickly. In the back of the room, there was a chest of drawers and a vanity. A shamisen also stood against the wall. The futon in the center of the room was left out, but other than that, it was neatly organized. There weren't a lot of items, so it does seem like I can get away with a basic cleaning. First, I'll pick up the futon and put it away in the drawer. Then I'll do some sweeping. While thinking that, I approached the futon and tilted my head, confused. The futon and the nightwear are a rumpled mess. Why is this the only place? Oh, girl. I like how she's a little slow for a second. She's like, huh, why is it? Oh! Just as I was about to reach out for the nightwear, it hit me. Right, this is a brothel! Like she forgot for a second. My face flushed red. I'll clean without looking too closely at anything. Yeah, Lord knows what kind of fluids are on everything. Maybe don't touch the sheets. Phew! I wiped away the sweat on my brow with the back of my hand. I had to clean up the corners of the drawer and other tight areas, so it took quite a bit of time. I could hear cheery voices coming from outside the window. It was already time for the daytime open house, so the courtesans were likely lined up in the displays. It's so weird. Like, they're lined up in the displays. Like, I mean, I know they're for sale, but it's still weird. I wonder if Okuni's still eating her breakfast. Should I go and get her? Or should I wait? All right, I'll go and get her. I'll go and greet her. That's what it says. Huh. After pondering on it for a little, I decided to go and left the room to head to the first floor. After I exited Okuni's room and was walking down the hall... Oh, are you new here? I was called upon by a man walking towards me from the front. Is he one of the men working here? My name is Spacey. I'll be working here as a Kamuro under Okuni starting today. A Kamuro? The man's eyes widened. Oh, right. Apparently it's normal for people my age to be Shinzo. I don't have a lot of knowledge about the red light district, so I was told by the owner to receive lessons directly from Okuni. So that's why you're Okuni's Kamuro. Still, they must see great potential in you if they're going that far. The man's gaze was kind, and the threads in his neck also showed the pink color of goodwill. Phew, it seems like I'll be able to make some friends with the people at work. Do you know where Okuni is? If she was still eating breakfast, I would have him guide me there. With that thought in mind, I asked the question, and the man told me. I saw her being called by the boss and entering the banquet hall just now. It seemed that Okuni had finished eating her breakfast. I figured out Okuni's location, but I wonder where the banquet hall is. The courtesan's rooms were on the second floor, so I had no idea where the banquet hall would be. Probably on the first floor. Today's your first day, so you probably don't know where it is. All right, this old dog will guide you there. Maybe he's an older man. This old dog will guide you. Whatever. Thank you very much. What a kind person. He must be busy with work, and yet he'll go out of his way for me. There must be a lot of nice people like Okuni working in this store. You know, it's just really funny that you're like, look at how wholesome and wonderful everybody working in the brothel is. Huh. Okay. At least they're not shady assholes. You know what I mean? Like, you need the wholesome people working in the brothel. Just, you know. About tonight's customer. He's a regular. The brothel owner and Okuni were discussing something while looking at each other. They were too far and I couldn't clearly understand what they were saying, but I could make a guess based on the words customer and regular. A regular customer is going to come by tonight, and I guess they're holding a banquet? He must have noticed the sound of the sliding door opening. The brothel owner turned back to look at us, and I saw his eyes widen dramatically. It was me, but I came in.
Lord Isakura, thank you for your continued patronage.
There's no greater joy in this world than continue spending time with you, Lord Hisakura. The brothel owner and Okuni referred to the man as Lord Hisakura and bowed their heads low. Wait, he wasn't one of the workers? I can feel an uncomfortable bead of sweat drip down my back. Oh, the dude that came in. I was like, we just walked in. I totally forgot about. I thought the guy like showed us where it was and was like, oh, here it is. I didn't think he came in with us. Oh my god.
But what brings you here, Lord Isakura?
Oh my god. Ikichiro? Oh, that's a name. Let's see if I can pronounce that.
I was guiding this adorable young lady here.
He was guiding me.
You idiot! This person here's the owner of a kimono store! Do you understand how rude that is, making someone of his status guide you here?
I apologize. I'm truly sorry. I thought he worked here.
Now, please don't scold her so much. She told me she just came to the store today, so it's understandable she wasn't aware of me. She hasn't offended me, so please find it in your heart to forgive her.
He seems nice. We like him. He can set us up with some cool clothes.
Thank you very much. You there, express your gratitude too.
Thank you very much. I lowered my head like the brothel owner did. When I did so, I glanced at Lord Hisakura's neck, but it was still the same pink as earlier. So look at that. Some of the guests that come here are wholesome as well. You know. I felt relieved that he really didn't feel offended or insulted. Lord Hisakura, if you have the time, would you care to let me dance for you?
Oh, would you really? A dance from Okuni is worth a fortune. Please, I would love to watch.
Lord Hisakura nodded excitedly and let out a satisfied sigh.
I said that I was heading to the washroom and left, but is it all right to keep my cortisone rating?
There's no need to...
Oh, there's no need to worry. Even if you're a little late, it won't be a problem for you, Lord Hisakura.
It's not a problem because Lord Hisakura is an important customer. There was no way I could ask the brothel owner, so I accepted it on my own. Well then, let me entertain you for a short while. So she's not his courtesan, okay. Okuni spread out her fan and began to dance. Ah, the transience of life is like a blade against unseasoned wood. She fluttered the fan elegantly and sang in a sonorous voice. I'm not singing. Despite wearing a heavy kimono, her movements were light. There weren't any instruments like a shamisen, drum, or flute, yet her song and dance were absolutely mesmerizing. I was completely enchanted by Okuni's beautiful movements and singing voice.
Don't forget about Kinji, girl! That's what we're here for! Don't get sidetracked by this woman.
She's, she getting sidetracked.
I wouldn't expect anything less from a courtesan bearing the name of Izumo no Okuni. Your dance and your song are both of the highest caliber.
It's funny because when they said Okuni, all I could think about was Tengoku Struggle. Wasn't the one guy's name Kamuro as well, too? When they called us that, I was like, I'm like, wasn't that the character in... I'm like, am I just... Like, every once in a while, letters will slip and I'll be like, oh, no, it's like this and not that. You know what I mean? But I was like, wasn't that his name? And then Okuni popped up and I was like, this is weird. But I didn't say anything, but... Izumo no Okuni, a female entertainer in the Aizuchi Momoyama period, said to be the creator of the style of dancing kabuki is based on. And then Kinji... Okay.
Okuni is a form folk that belonged to Izumo no Okuni, so she's the only one who inherited the techniques and memories of that time.
Oh, interesting. I like this! And we know where the real Okuni is. She's in Tengu. We know. So, like, she's in modern times. So, like we can tie this to Tengoku Struggle. They're in the same universe. Interesting.
I have nothing but gratitude toward Izumo no Okuni for creating her.
I like how they did that though, like an actual famous where they're like, oh, that's why they named her Okuni, Saying that, the brothel owner gazed at Okuni. Is Izumo no Okuni someone famous? Oh, girl.
Izumo no Okuni is the creator of Kabuki. She's also said to have helped the development of the red light district. I heard that about 100 years ago she went on a promotional tour around the country and danced in order to gather donations and repair the Izumo Shrine.
But she has her one true love. Right? That was the Okuni in Tengoku's struggle. Was her and her husband. The hottie, right? Right? Am I thinking of the right character, or is that a different woman that I'm thinking of?
The Kabuki dance that Okuni performed during that tour became the basis for the Kabuki art style, and it was used in the red light district as well.
So now I need Kinji to dance for me. I see. So Okuni was born from that very amazing person. Lord Hisakura nodded his head at my question.
I hear that Okuni was born from the hairpin that Izumo no Okuni used.
A lot of people born from hairpins up in this game.
Izumo no Okuni herself returned to Izumo after unveiling her Kabuki dance in Edo, but she left behind her hairpin. Thanks to that, we can still enjoy the songs and dances over time even now.
Right. I see, so that's why her name is Okuni. If she was a form folk born from someone as famous as Izumo no Okuni and inherited her will, then it wouldn't be odd for her to carry her name. But in that case, I wonder why she chose to be a courtesan rather than a kabuki actress. They probably don't let women do that kind of shit. That's why Kinji does that kind of shit. I mean, I don't know, but back in Shakespearean times, it was women weren't allowed, men were playing the women's role. So, that's what my assumption was with this is, women aren't allowed to be on stage. Or, it would be well, that would just be weird. What? A woman playing a woman's role? That's strange. Why wouldn't we just have men in drag do it? Crazy. You know what I mean? There's a difference between whoa, we don't let women folk do that kind of shit, and well, that just seems odd. So I don't know where they're fitting on the scale here, but is it because women are prohibited from kabuki now? Okay, there you go. But Okuni is a form folk, so she should be able to change her appearance. Is there a reason why Okuni is working as a courtesan here? I wasn't sure if he would answer, but I asked the brothel owner anyway.
Okuni was born from Izumo no Okuni. She is Okuni's will, her skills, her appearance. If anything were to change, she would cease to be Izumo no Okuni. Plus, after Okuni left Edo, Kabuki dance became pretty popular in the red light district. All the courtesans started dancing Kabuki. Okuni has been living in the red light district and demonstrating it to the courtesans ever since. Well, there's also the fact that she likes living here. By the way, the reason Okuni still hasn't disappeared is due to how famous Izumo no Okuni is. She's the form folk substituting Izumo no Okuni. She'll probably continue to live on forevermore.
The brothel owner was likely telling the truth. As proof of that, Okuni has lived over 100 years. A substitute for the mother of Kabuki, huh? Not only was I able to be acquainted with such an amazing person, but Okuni herself was going to teach me the arts.
Could I ask you to? Yes, of course.
I don't even think any kabuki actor has had such a valuable experience before. Kinji's a kabuki actor. I wonder if he and Okuni know each other. I wondered that as I watched Okuni's dance.
No, but now we gonna learn some shit!
We're gonna learn some shit that's gonna... it wasn't even just we're gonna learn some shit and turn the tables on fucking Kinji. Now we're learning, kabuki kind of stuff from the mother of it. I'm just saying, this is so much more befitting for Kinji's... Oh my god. I see what they're doing here and I'm here for it. Way to go. You know? I mean... Tojo's route was pretty basic and simple with the, everybody thinks that he's the bad guy because kids from his school were going missing and stuff like that and, whatever. And then Kuga's route was, Hanzo coming after him, but then, finding out that, Hanzo's almost kind of like his brother in a way because Hanzo is a form folk that was created by the man who made the sword that is Kuga, basically. Even though I think they still try to make it be like the guy who stole the sword and killed the guy, Hanzo's dad, was the one who birthed Kuga in a way. But it's kind of like, I don't know, if the family loved that sword so much and whatever, I feel like part of Kuga is not just the man who stole the sword, it would have been the man who created it as well. But like you got the family kind of ties going on there in a way. And then you have Yoichi's route where his mom's basically the one going ballistic, and now you've got Kinji, who is a kabuki actor, and we're like learning from basically like what is essentially the mother of kabuki, everything that he does and that he enjoys doing, probably. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know, I just like the way they're tying shit together. They're doing a good job being like, we're gonna put this, and like working these little kind of ties and things into the main story, and like I just, I don't know, I like it, but anyway, I will see you guys next time. Remember to give the video a big thumbs up and subscribe to see more.